Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, we've got a Knight of Swords. You're somebody who I think is, you're thinking about the future a lot, okay? I think you're somebody that likes to sort of create an image in your mind of sort of where you want to be, what you want to be doing, who you want to be, sort of at the end of the day, at the end of the week, end of the month, year, 5, 10 years, right? The Knights in the tarot are all about sort of peering into the future, right? And this, since it's in the realm of swords, I feel like this is us sort of mentally, putting together an image, a sort of final destination, if you will. We're sort of thinking of the plan, but we're thinking of what the conclusion of the plan will be, right? And I think that this is something that you have been sort of constructing in your mind for a while now, okay? Because I feel that this card now is sort of begging for some action, begging for something to move forward, okay? We're going to put this card into some context. I feel like you're very decisive, but I feel like right now we're just sort of like, I don't know, we're not dreaming about the future, but you're spending a lot of time thinking about the future, right? But I want to know what's going on right now. Is there some blockage? Is there some confusion? Is the plan sort of changing? Are you having trouble seeing or sort of thinking about what the end result of this is going to be? Right? Well, it depends on the nature of your situation and so forth, but let's take a look. All right? Let's put this card into some context and see. Well, we've got the Hermit. Okay. The Hermit makes sense. The Magician makes sense too. Yes, it does. The Six of Wands, okay, 9 of Wands, and the Sun card. Well, the Sun card is absolutely beautiful, and I think that this is showing a nice flow of energy, especially coming off of this 6 of Wands, which I feel like is already a big win in your life. Like something significant has already taken place. I feel like the Hermit now is just kind of you going back inside and sort of processing that event or that situation that you were in the past, and recapitulating, debriefing, getting centered again, consolidating all of that energy, and then with that Knight of Swords trying to figure out what's the next big win, what's the goal now. And maybe that's the phase we're in, is sort of going inside, because the Hermit, we've kind of withdrawn from all the activity, and we're trying to get a clear picture of what's next. What is the next goal that you're going after, right? Of course, we see with the Sun card, it's going to be another big win. It's going to be another jackpot, right? The Sun is all about health and wealth. The Sun is all about prosperity and success, and achievement. But it's also about clarity, right? It's also about clarity. And between that and the Magician card, I wonder if we are gaining sort of a more broad awareness of the kind of reality that you wish to create, okay? Because the Six of Wands is not all that different from the Sun. The Sun is more cosmic in scale, though, more cosmic in scope. The Six of Wands is, I think, something particular in your earthly life, and then the Sun card sort of transcends all of it. Right? So I feel like you're probably thinking a lot bigger than what was here. So we have a 5 of Pentacles over here, we have a Princess of Cups. We've got the Star card and the High Priestess. You've got not only the sun, but you've got the full moon. You have not only the card of the divine energy, the divine light itself, but you have the magician, which is you receiving, being a perfect conduit of that divine light. So I feel like right now you're at a point in your life where you're trying to align yourself with your true will. You're trying to align yourself with your sort of cosmic destiny or sort of your spiritual mission. And you're trying to make, your current situation and the next goal, the next big win, you're trying to make it, I think, much more in harmony with that destiny, with that sense of fate, with that deeper purpose of your life. Yeah, I like this. I like the magician very, very much. I think we all do. It shows that we've been doing that internal work in order to become that pure channel, right? That clear conduit for that spiritual light. You know what you're meant to do. You know what you're supposed to do. The 6 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, you're capable of doing anything. You put your mind to it, your energy to it, you can accomplish whatever you want. Well, that's the idea. What do we want? What should we want? Let's think big. Let's think cosmic. Let's think spiritual, Let's think big picture destiny kind of stuff here. What should you be putting your energy into? Yeah, it's very good. Let's select the mystery card, right? Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right here with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. Happy little Bob. Don't forget, Leo, you are magic. Now, we're not going to look at this card until the end, all right? But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation and the conclusion at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments. Yeah, let's do it together. The final card on your reading today is the High Priestess. It is saying that you've got to follow your intuition here, okay? Which is very different from following what your mind is sort of projecting into the future as the next sort of logical goal. Kind of like you're coming off this completion, right? This 6 of Wands is a victory after a struggle, right? And of course, we come back to a 5 of Pentacles, which means we're ready to go again, But maybe we're being told, don't try to intellectualize it. Don't try to think logically about what the next reasonable goal is going to be. No, I think you're being instructed to follow your destiny here, to follow something else, to trust in something else. There's something deeper going on here. There's a more magical, mystical, spiritual destiny out there for you. And I think Spirit is saying you need to trust your intuition here. You need to follow that divine light. Okay? I really do like the cards we have here, especially because the way I read the cards, it's the starlight that comes into us, right? It comes in to our aura, our soul, our being, our psyche, whatever you want to call it. It illuminates us from within, fills us with divine light, shows us where our buttons are, shows us where our weak points are, shows us where our sore spots, that sort of thing, or karmic knots, shows us what we need to see, right? Brings us an inner clarity. And as we begin to do that, take a look at those things, that light starts to spill out from us and we're able to see the path before us. It illuminates things around you externally, right? The external clarity now, to know what you need to engage with in life, in the world around you, That process comes in by way of the High Priestess, through the intuition, through, mystical experiences, supernatural events, synchronicities. The way that you are open and receptive to receiving that divine light is this High Priestess energy. It's showing that your third eye is wide open, right? And that process itself, this process here with the star coming in through the High Priestess, causing the inner and outer illumination, what is it doing? Well, it's creating in you, of you, the magician. you're becoming the best magician you can be. All of us are the magician, right? And the more we engage in this spiritual work, this psychic development, spiritual development, personal development, and evolution, the greater the magician we become. The magician is channeling that divine light. It is a smooth channel, a clear conduit, right, of that divine light, that star energy. Because the more we clear away those karmic knots, the more effortlessly that spiritual energy can flow. That consciousness, that light, that creativity, whatever you want to call it. And that's the magician. The magician is the one that can almost perfectly channel that divine energy. And it flows in and through us and out into the world, and we're manifesting our reality. We're in perfect control of our faculties and perfect control of our environment and our circumstances. Now, that's a perfection that we can't exactly attain, but that's what we're working toward. All right, so you got the best energy here. Yeah. And I think Spirit's trying to tell you that, hey, we're intellectualizing this too much. That we're trying to make plans, and I think that's what you're doing now. You're trying to make plans. You're trying to figure out your next goal, your next destination. And Spirit's saying, don't mentalize it. Don't intellectualize it. We need to feel this out. We need to follow the divine path, follow your spiritual destiny here. So since that is the message, it feels like there's a tendency for you to be doing something now that your instinct, your intuition, Spirit is sort of telling you is not your path. So it's a time now of making plans, but evaluating why we're making those plans. I was going to say pans. Maybe you're cooking. I don't know. Let's continue looking around here. So we have major, 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 major. 5 major arcana cards. 5 is half or more of the spread, and that to me means it is not including the mystery card, of course, because that's infinite and unknown. But half of the reading is major arcana energy. So this tells me that it's a really big message from Spirit right now, that this is a fated thing. Okay, this is fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it. All right. We have a lot of fire cards. We've got some water. We've got a little bit of air back there. And we've got an earth card. Okay, so it's mostly the fire. I mean, aside from the major arcana, obviously. So I think that you're really being instructed to reevaluate some long-term plans. The Hermit energy here is saying, hey, wait a minute. Don't engage right now in the next thing. Don't go from your 6 of Wands right into that Knight of Swords and continue on here. It's time to take a little bit of a time out. Spirit's calling an audible here. Yeah, and you're being told to wait. Wait, there's something here. And I think this is coming as a bit of a surprise because you were just sort of, I think, naturally going into the next segment of things. And the Knight of Swords is a very quick-thinking energy. It's kind of like setting up the image of the next goal, and okay, we're gonna start on that project. But then the Hermit comes into it and says, well, maybe we're taking some time, or we need to take some time. Go within, search within, find that light within. See, the Hermit is the one that's engaged in this process that we talked about of the star energy. And the Hermit is the one that's sort of discovering that light within, and it's starting to spill out on the Hermit is the one that is becoming the magician. It's just like the Hermit's up in a cave on the top of the mountain, doing all this spiritual work, transforming into the magician. If the Hermit takes off this cloak, it's the magician underneath, right? And essentially it is the sun. It is the spiritual light itself, clothed, of course, operationally in the magician garb, right? I hope this makes sense. I'm not trying to be too confusing here. This is a tarot reading after all. Spirit saying take some time. Search for that light within. Search for some clarity about your plan, about your next move, your next project, your next choice, or whatever decision is on the table, whatever mentally, intellectually, you're trying to draw up the plans for the next goal, okay? Very important. The magician we talked about, we could circle back around to the magician, but I want to know what the 6 of of Wands was back here in the past position, because I feel that this is sort of the confidence of the last thing that you did, the last big win, the last project, the last sort of success or triumph or victory that you had after a challenge, and we sort of get into that cycle where we have challenge and we have victory. We have a fight and we have a win, It's that sort of competitive flow that we get into, and we start to realize that every day is like that, just getting out of bed, right? Conquering sleep is like, victory. Yep, what's next, And then, I think that we have, we sort of get into the feedback loop, the positive feedback loop of that, right? Going from 5 to 6, 5 to 6, 5 to 6. That's what life's all about, right? A challenge and a victory, problem and solution. Yeah. And we sort of like it. We feed on it. It feels good. Feels good to do that, right? And I don't know what this last thing was for you, if this was a work thing, if it was a good kind of successful day in your business or your creative work or on your YouTube channel or, writing your book or doing your blog or whatever you do. Whatever this win was, I feel like rather than going directly into the next problem, maybe we need to say, okay, hold on a second. Let me search for that light. I was going to say, let me figure out, but we're not really figuring, because that's intellectualizing it. It's hard not to intellectualize, especially since I'm sitting here talking to you. It's becoming an intellectualization, right? But it's sort of, it's more of just a contemplation even. It's more of just a meditation or just a searching for that guidance. It's a stilling of the mind, really. In order to get a strong sense of what should come next for you, okay? I think that you're headed toward a really, really big win. If this was a jackpot, this is the sun card is then a super jackpot, right? Mega millions. If this was, you got a couple $100 on a scratcher, this is, the big one, right? I think that you need to reassess what your next move is, and not just the next 5 to a 6, 5 to a 6, 5 to a 6, but I think in terms of your overall orbit, your cosmic path, right? What is your will? What are you really trying to accomplish? What are you trying to build in life? Maybe the 5 and the 6 energy that we see here is kind of, we're going from one problem to a solution, one fight to a victory, and that's that. Maybe the sun is saying, hey, let's take a look long term. Let's look at the future. Let's look at the past. Let's look at the past lives. Let's look at the future lives. What are you really setting up for yourself? What are you really building here? Right? What kind of reality are you building, whether it's consciously, or unconsciously? I'm hungry. And I think that's a key component here, whether it's conscious or unconscious. The magician is at work. And the magician, since it's underneath the surface here, it sort of says that you're constructing a reality through the 5 and the 6, the 5 and the 6. You have a bunch of wood in a pile, you nail it together into a birdhouse, whatever. This is the pile of stuff. This is the raw material getting put together, and this is the win. I did it. I put the bookshelf together, right? So it's like you're constructing one piece of furniture after the other, but you don't know what the bigger room is. You don't know what the house really is. You don't know where all this furniture is supposed to go, or what it's for, or why you're doing it, Not that you are completely absent of any sort of forethought, but I think in that cosmic bigger picture, you're being told right now to slow down, stop. Look at the problem solution sort of, rhythm that we've been in, and start to see what the bigger picture is, because your magician energy is constructing your reality, your future life, your next life even. If you believe in that sort of thing, I'm just trying to show you the scale here. The magician is working that way underneath the surface. Better to bring it into conscious awareness so that you can sort of, it's almost like the ego or the mind says, hey, I want to know what's going on here. Can you let me in on the secret? Can I come to the club too? Can I be part of the group? And yes, I think that's exactly what needs to happen, because the magician is working beneath the level of consciousness. And we need to bring that into conscious awareness so that you can understand where your path is going, where you are headed. Bigger picture style, right? Bigger picture style. Otherwise, it almost seems as if the mind is working in a certain, is putting together all these bookshelves, and maybe doesn't understand the bigger picture that the self or that spirit is really intending for all these books. Why do I need all these bookshelves? Are you planning on buying some books? Maybe it's an idea that we're just, I'm in this routine, I'm in this flow, and it's working, it's successful, it's rewarding, it feels good, right? But I don't know really what it all means or why it's happening or how it fits into this bigger picture. It could even be sometimes that the mind starts doing these things and putting together these bookshelves, and the magician or our sort of magical self or our divine self or true self is sort of trying to nudge us in a different direction. But it's like we're putting together all these bookshelves, and Spirit's just like, enough with the bookshelves. We don't need that many bookshelves. We need a couch. We need a dining table, So it could be that we're at odds, that we're sort of consciously working in this fashion, and Spirit's kind of trying to say, no, we got to keep going this way. So there's a bit of a disharmony, right? And the Sun and the Six, of course, are indicating the need for harmony. And that's what a 6 is, after all, is the 6s are the harmony, right? The beauty and harmony of the 6 after a 5, after a struggle, okay? And the 6, the number 6, always refers to the planetary energy of the Sun. The Sun is that cosmic harmony, that big-time spiritual harmony, whereas the 6 of Wands is the sort of earthly harmony that we experience here on our plane of existence, and it's kind of a successful accomplishment that you made. It's, you and your team won the ball game kind of feeling, right? Well, this is about the cosmic ball game, okay? And anyway, so the magician under the surface, yeah. We've got the 9 of Wands up top here. You're definitely going to feel a lot more energized. You think you're a strong person now. You think you're fortified now. You think you have energy now to accomplish things, to win the race, to win the ball game. When you connect with Spirit, right? Sun and Moon conjoined, and that's what you have here. You have the Sun and you have the High Priestess, which is the full moon, right? Third eye wide open. The mind and the spirit, let's say, coming together, right? The conscious and unconscious sort of energies are together. The human mind or the ego is partaking of of a communion, right? Communication and union with the higher self, the divine energy, whatever you want to call it. And that's what this card represents: Sun and Moon connected, now communicating. Now it's almost like the workers in the factory are building stuff, but the management is like, what are they doing? We don't need those parts or products or whatever, because there's no communication. That the management has no way of telling the workers on the floor to say, hey, stop building those toys and let's start making the other toy or whatever. I'm thinking like, Santa's workshop or something. It's getting close to that time. The holiday season is my absolute favorite time of the year. I love fall. I love winter. I love the whole the Halloween celebrations, but I love the sort of the end of the year celebrations. With Christmas and Saturnalia and all those kinds of all those sort of festivals are just they're so wonderful. I love that time of year. Anyway. And even the religious connotations aside, it just feels like a magical time. It feels like a magical time. It's like the sun is just about to be reborn, in that the winter solstice energy. It's so wonderful. My favorite. Anyway, But having that communication, having management being able to talk to the workers on the factory floor is creating such awesome strength. I mean, such ability, such power, such potential now in action, really able to get stuff done in a big time way. Okay? And that, I think, is really the important thing for you to get to this Sun card. Now, in a very practical way, I wonder if the idea here is that there is a miscommunication between somebody on different levels of this thing. You know, it's like you have a two-story house. There's no way for the people on the top story to communicate with the people on the bottom story of the house, right? Bottom floor. I don't know why, but that's what it feels like. So I wonder if there is some sort of, not even miscommunication. It's just there isn't communication at all. It's not a miscommunication. It's no communication. So I wonder how that's actually manifesting in your life. Okay? So it could be that you need to really take a pause, connect with whoever's involved in your life right now or whatever is going on with you, and get a collaboration going, get the communication flowing so that you can both see the bigger picture. Okay? Because again, when there is communication between the top and the bottom, right, there is going to be much more progress, right? That's where we really get strength from. Okay? And strength, is the ability for us to accomplish our goals, right? And the Sun card is that accomplishment. It is health and wealth. It's success, it's well-being, it's financial success. It is the cosmic victory, right? It's the victory of the sun over the the evil forces of darkness, at the end of the year, winter solstice sort of energy, right? So it fits in, right? It works. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent here. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. I also have a bedtime story channel, Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. Go check out those readings and those stories and subscribe over there if you wish. Okay. My cat's telling me to hurry up because she's probably hungry. We've got a 5 of Pentacles here in your general energy, and this is really this is the pile of stuff in front of us that we say, okay, we've got to start building this, and it's, in some ways, it feels as if we have all this stuff. We have some boards, some screws, some nails, those little weird inserts, those little wooden pegs that always seem to break when you are trying to put together something. And we're just assuming, since it was bookshelves before, I'm just going to make another bookshelf. Until somebody sort of changes the work order, it's bookshelves, right? And I think that this is our approach, that we're just saying, hey, life is, there's really, nothing has yet prompted you to sort of stop and say, wait a minute, do I need to do something different? That we're in this routine of like every day I just gotta wake up, I gotta do this stuff, I gotta put this stuff together, I gotta put my effort into something and keep pushing forward, right? And it doesn't matter if this is your career, job, your school, if you're retired, it doesn't matter how old you are. This is for old people, young people, and everybody in between. What you're putting your effort into, right? In order to continue to have that reward of, I accomplished something today, I mean, that's a wonderful feeling, right? I wake up in the morning and I think, I got a lot of stuff to do today. Just me, I'm thinking, okay, I got to go film 5 readings. 5 readings I film every day. Every day, right? The holidays, weekends, everything. But when I'm done, it's kind of like, I feel good. I feel like I accomplished something. Now I can sort of relax. I can get something to eat. I can hang out. I can do a lot of other things that we have to do during the day, but it's a good feeling to get something accomplished, And then we know that there's going to be more stuff to accomplish. This 5 to 6 flow, again, like I said, that's human life. That we have something that is changing, something that's moving around, and we produce something and it feels good. We establish some sort of harmony, and then a moment later it's back to being kind of uncertain and chaotic, and things are changing yet again, right? And I think that this is, as your general energy, this is your perception of life, that There's always something that I need to do. There's, this is how life is, and it is. I think Spirit's showing you the necessary energy now, the need for you to slow down and say, wait a minute, let me communicate with my higher self or with my partners and get a bigger picture, get a larger vision of what's going on here. And if we're all on the same page, if we can harmonize in that way, there is no limit to your success. That's how you create this major, major jackpot here. We have a princess of cups in the environment, right? And I think that's really kind of talking about that positive reward system, that positive reinforcement. You have a challenge, you find the solution, you get a cookie. All right, I'm looking for let me have another problem to solve because I want another cookie. Yeah. And that's human life. That's what we all do almost all day long, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we get stuff done. It feels good to accomplish things. It feels good to do it. And so when we get into that routine, we get into that flow, it's not always easy. It's not always even desired to stop and say, well, wait a minute now. Let me see what I'm doing. I know it feels good. You got that bookshelf together and it's like that. That's a nice bookshelf. But now we're gonna talk to the boss and be like, do I really need another bookshelf? Because we can have the same sort of problem, solution, reward system, doing something else, something that's maybe leading to larger scale success or larger scale rewards, and something that's contributing differently to the bigger picture of your life. Okay? And I'm not trying to say that you've just been sort of doing busy work, that your work hasn't meant anything. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I feel that Spirit now is sort of trying to send the communication down the line to say, okay, we're shifting over to some other sort of work now. We're shifting over to either a different path or a different way of doing things, or even to even for you to just get the larger perception of why you're building so many bookshelves, right? Because maybe it is going to be bookshelves all down the line, but now Spirit's trying to show you, trying to reveal to you why. Okay? Maybe the Princess of Cups is in the environment to say, it's fun to make the bookshelves, but I don't know if I really feel like doing them anymore. I don't know what the heck they're all for. So maybe before you get to this point where it's just like, I don't want to do this work, I don't want to do this life stuff anymore, Spirit's trying to show you, look, there's a reason for all of it. This is the bigger picture. This is what you're building. This is what you're working toward. And I think that the clarity of that Sun card is really that reinforcement that we need to be like, okay, now that you're partaking of some of that divine energy, and Spirit is revealing to you the purpose of everything. It's sort of like you can see the divine plan. It renews our motivation. We get that 9 of Wands, right? Of course, we've got the Star card and the High Priestess card. The Star card is in the position of sort of what we don't want, which is interesting. And when we're over here, maybe this is the card that we don't want. We don't want, we found a nice groove over here, right? And things seem to be working. So maybe we don't want any kind of interruption from Spirit showing us another one of these karmic knots or another button or just something that we need to address. It's like, no, the car is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The car is running, so I don't want to have to it's almost, the person that doesn't want to go to the doctor, doesn't want to go to the mechanic because you know that you're going to find something. If I just ignore it, things are going to be okay. I'm going to stay in this flow because I wonder if you do know that if you let in that divine light, you're going to see something that you don't really want to see. And that might be the idea that, I need to shift my focus over to something that is part of my destiny. It's someone that is spending their time doing a particular kind of work because they, for whatever reason, they're trying to deny or ignore their true calling in life. somebody that really is meant to be, a singer or an artist or whatever, a performer or, a CEO or whatever it is. And it's just, for whatever reason, we're trying to not look at that, not see that, not let that awareness or that spiritual insight in. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. This is the routine. This is working. And we all have various reasons why we do this as human beings, but we do. We try to ignore our true calling and just do what feels comfortable, what's in this routine. This almost is sort of feeling like a Four of Pentacles a little bit. So I think that's why we've got the Star card in the position of sort of what we don't want. But once we get to the path of the Serpent and we start to feel like, okay, you know what? I'm no longer satisfied doing what I'm doing without at least knowing why. What's the bigger purpose here? What's the bigger path for me, right? So that dissatisfaction perhaps is then allowing us to realize we need the Star card. And then, of course, we open ourselves up. We receive the divine light. And then, we're able to get that clarity. And the Hermit then removes the cloak and becomes the magician, and now you are a co-creator with Spirit, right? Now that unconscious magician is fully conscious and aware, and you and Spirit are partners, Nine of Wands, unstoppable partners in the process of creation. Let's look at the mystery card. I want to see some good water energy, right? Or some good pentacles, because we don't have any really good pentacles, right? We've got the Five of the Five of Pentacles, which is sort of the awareness of the process of change, right? We know that things are going on, that we've got to do. We have work to do, right? We know that there's no shortage of work anywhere, right? There's always, in other words, there's always something to do, So I want to see maybe some more pentacles. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Yeah, I'm thinking either water or earth. Oh, it's the Lovers card. Now, the Lovers is that union. The Lovers is being that co-creator, right? There's two of yous, and you're sort of married together. And that union is what creates that strength. This unstoppable fortitude that can accomplish anything. The power, right? The power to do work, the power to get stuff done, the power to accomplish this cosmic path that you're on. So the Lovers card now, it could be between you and the group, you and the coworker, you and the partners, it could be you and the spouse, it could be you and Spirit, you and your true self, you and the magician energy. It's talking about that union that we were speaking of earlier. And marrying yourself to that, then, it's sort of the, two heads are better than one kind of thing, right? Two spirits, two souls, two entities, the conscious and unconscious mind, separate, maybe doing different things. Conscious mind is sort of doing this work, unconscious mind is doing this other kind of work. And since there is this split and there is this pull, it's like a tug of war in two different directions, the Princess of Cups is going to start feeling like, I don't like this anymore. Something doesn't feel right. Kind of feels like I'm being pulled in two different directions, like a tug of war. And that's what it is between conscious and unconscious mind. Or between, human ego and true self. Yeah. Between our human personality and spirit. Whatever sort of duality you want to talk about, however you want to phrase it. Working together. Unstoppable. Major potential for huge accomplishments, And in a very practical way, this could really be talking about your starting that communication with the group or sort of the partner or whoever it is, whatever's going on in your life, whatever your specific details are. It's the communication between management and the people on the factory floor, right? The rest of us down here doing the work. Right, putting together the bookshelves. Yeah. So we've got to focus on that union, opening ourselves up to this divine light, seeing things, being willing to look at things, that Spirit's showing us, and striving for this union so that we can work together. Right? 2 + 2 is I mean, 1 plus 1 is more than 2. 2 plus 2 is more than 4, I guess. However many people are involved. The idea, though, is that the combination of forces creates something so much greater than either one by itself, especially if we're thinking conscious mind, unconscious mind. Both very powerful, very strong. Working separately, okay, you could get stuff done. That's how most of us operate. Very little contact with the unconscious, right? That we're aware of anyway. And we seem to get along okay, But those two coming together, astronomical, right? Major, major jackpot. And again, in a very practical way, I think that if you have a meeting with whoever else is involved in this for you, and try to get on the same page and have this sort of joint collaboration and get this idea of this bigger picture, the two of you are going to create this major jackpot together in a very physical, real way. Okay, now we're talking more sort of philosophically or mystically, magically about the spiritual energies, but apply it to your practical life. Okay, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Leo, Tuesday and Saturday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It's totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Subscribe to Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories as well. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.